What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be going over every single 2025 NASCAR Cup Series paint scheme. Be sure that you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned so you don't miss out on any of the new paint schemes for the upcoming season. Let's kick it off with Ross Chastain. Now this is his Busch light machine. I love it, man. It looks cold. It's a cool design on this one. I feel like it really gets the brand across very easily. And also, Busch Light is just a good match for Ross Chastain. Now, the cool thing is, apparently the diecast for this car has already dropped. Another paint scheme for Ross Chastain is going to be the Kubota machine. And man, we got some Halloween colors on this one. I love how they did the fade from orange to black and then back to orange. I feel like the fade on this paint scheme is incredible. It makes the number one pop out just that much more. And can we give Trackhouse credit for how they used the door of this car to put that giant K for Kubota? Next on the list is going to be Austin Cindric. There is not really any changes on this car other than maybe a couple decals changing around, but that's Austin Cindric's discount tire machine. Another one for Austin Cindric will be Menards. Once again, no heavy changes for the number 2 Menards machine. I will say the neon yellow always pops out and looks great in my book. I'll never go wrong with it. This is a beautiful car. And finally, for Austin Cindric, we got the number 2 Auto Trader machine. Bright orange. We got a blue number 2. It's giving me flashbacks of the Blue Deuce with the blue 2. I love this car. I think Team Penske done an amazing job. Not really any changes going on with it. Now for the black 3, Austin Dillon himself. Dow is going to be back on the number 3, and this is a beautiful design. I think one of the best designs for the 2025 season so far. Let me know what you guys think, but I love how they took advantage with the black and red on here. And can we talk about the design? The overall design down the door is incredible. I love how we got a little racing stripe on the hood. Speaking of Austin Dillon, we got Tilton for the number 3 car. This will be a white and red machine, as well as Tilton will also be on the NASCAR Xfinity side of things for RCR as well. I'm not gonna complain about this one. I'm not gonna brag about it. It's just kind of there in my book, but I think it's a great looking car nonetheless. Now, apparently this car got leaked. This is Noah Gragson's 2025 Rush Truck Center's paint scheme for Front Row Motorsports. And yes, we are having leaks already. I hate it for Front Row out there that they didn't get their proper announcement, but I also want to take a moment to brag about this car. First off, I want to talk about the number 4 font because a lot of people got confused and thought this was the Stuart Haas font. Although it's very similar, it is not the Stuart Haas font. It is the Front Row font. They took the 4 from the 34 and just put the 4 there, stretched it out a little bit, and it looked perfect. Number 2, we see contingency sponsors on this car. That has a lot of people confused on what's going on there. And number 3, clearly they took over some of the Stuart Haas sponsorship with them over to Front Row. So I know that we talked a little bit early on about some cars looking the same. Well, this is Kyle Larson's 2025 HendrickCars.com paint scheme, and this is one where I say keep it the same. This brings brand identity to NASCAR. This paint scheme has been the same since the very beginning. We know that this is the Hendrick Cars look. We know that this is the design for the 5 car. I think fans coming into the sport, it's easier to catch on with having a familiar paint scheme with a familiar driver every single week, and that is exactly what Hendrick Cars brought to the table. We know Dale Earnhardt for the black 3. We know Richard Petty for the Petty blue. We know Jeff Gordon for the flames or the rainbow. Let's know Kyle Larson for this beautiful Hendrick design. Another paint scheme for Kyle Larson is going to be Valvoline, and man, I am digging this one. Valvoline dropped some cool looking cars for next year. We just got a lot of red, white, and blue on this car, but it's the little details that I care about. The little trim around the front wheel that dips down the side of the car, and this makes the car pop ever so much more. So we got a couple of them right here. This is going to be the Build Submarine cars for RFK. So obviously we got Brad Keselowski, we also got Chris Buescher, and we also got Ryan Preece. As far as I can tell, there's no big changes on the car. Kroger will be joining RFK to sponsor the number 6 of Brad Keselowski, the number 7 of Chris Buescher, and the brand new number 60 car of Ryan Preece. From JTG over to RFK, Ryan Preece will be carrying the Kroger brand. I think it looks cool having all 3 of these cars on track. They will be sponsoring the entire team, which that's looking a lot like how RFK is going to be running their team next year. And this is a prime example of that. We got the Castrol paint scheme for not only Brad, but also Ryan Preece. Last season, Brad won in the Castrol colors at Darlington. It was a throwback paint scheme. This year, they're going to have a little different design on it, and also they're going to have that number 60 car decaled up. Another one for RFK, we got Consumer Cellular, not only on the 6, but also on the 60 of Ryan Preece. I really dig Brad's car, but I want to focus more on the number 60 of Ryan Preece because they did some number play here. As you can see on the door of the car, it says get 2 unlimited lines 4, and it has the number sign 60. So they played the car number into the sponsorship with this paint scheme. And then we got KB, Rowdy himself, Kyle Busch, returning to RCR with the Rebel Bourbon paint scheme. This one is cool. It's a very Southern style paint scheme from the look of it. I dig it, man. I think it looks cool with the number 8 font on it as well. It looks very wooden. The whole car looks very wooden, which is just an overall cool design. One that I think will be a fan favorite, and one I look forward to potentially getting a diecast of one day. Another KV paint scheme is going to be the Lucas Oil car. Similar to what he won with at Auto Club a couple years back. Not too many big changes on this one, but I still really dig the paint scheme. It's a cool design. I can't throw off on it. It's a little plain, but it looks very classic to me. That's what I like about it. It's a very classic paint scheme where they didn't overdo it with all the decals and look at this graphic design and all this craziness. They just kind of made the logos pop, and here's a pretty car, put it on track, let it go win some races, hopefully. Now for the fan favorite, Chase Elliott. This is the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. It's a little different than what we had last season. The trim outline changed from white to yellow. The yellow curved design on the door got cut, and they just made that blue to match the rest of the car. No big change here. I'm a big fan of brand identity moving forward, but I think the car pops. I think it looks good. We also got a 100 years of Napa Auto Parts on the rear bumper. A little bit hard to see in this image. I think this is a car that's going to look better on the track than what you're going to see with the rendering. So if you hate this car right now, I recommend you give it a chance. Wait till you see it on track for Daytona, because I think it's going to look sharp. We're not done with the Chase Elliott paint schemes, and man, this one's looking good. The Universe car, I'm a big fan of this one. I mean, the green and the gray and the yellow, it's a very clean design. I love it. I think this is a beautiful car. We got the yellow outline for the roof number. I think the yellow pops out. I think this one's gonna look incredible on track. Once again, I know a lot of Chase Elliott fans have been hating his paint schemes lately. I don't get it. I think they're great cars. I don't know what they expect from Hendrick, but I think they're putting out some really cool looking cars. I think a lot of his fans are just kind of complaining more than they should have, because these are some great looking paint schemes that they're putting on track for next year. Just give them a chance. If you don't like the rendering, give them a chance at Daytona. And finally for Chase Elliott, we got the Lumar Windows Film paint scheme. And once again, this one, it's not so clean and simple as the other two. They went a little heavier on the design for it, but I dig it, man. I love it. I love all of these Chase Elliott paint schemes that dropped this week. This one could be my favorite. I mean, a red Chase Elliott car is beautiful because not only it's red and it's a cool looking color, think back to Bill Elliott. Think back to him in the Dodge. Think back to him when he ran for Budweiser. Think back to him when he ran for McDonald's. I think having an Elliott and a red car is something that we need to do more often. So I'm giving this car a solid 9 out of 10. Brian Blaney's also another fan favorite. We got Menards back on the car. I told you guys, I really love that neon yellow. It's a look that I have always enjoyed in the NASCAR Cup Series, and hopefully Menards will stick around for years to come. Brian Blaney will also be running the Discount Tire Machine. Now, this is not only a throwback to when Brad won the championship of Discount Tire. So Discount Tire changed their paint schemes a few times throughout the years and ultimately went back to the classic 2010 paint scheme back in 2020. So it doesn't matter if it's the 2 or the 12, the Discount Tire scheme is still alive after all these years, and I dig it still. I like it still. I can't complain about it. I think this car looked very good on track, especially when it won at Martinsville. I think it's a cool looking car and one that we'll probably see in victory lane at least one more time next year. Ryan Blaney is also back with a Busch. This is a cool one. I love the yellow and blue and the blue blend on this one. You don't see a lot of blue blends like this in the NASCAR Cup Series, so this car is something special. And Penske, they're just doing a great job with their paint schemes all around. Advanced Auto Parts will be returning with Ryan Blaney as well. Now, I thought this looked like a bit of an older Rusty Wallace paint scheme in the past. Apparently, somebody in the comments told me it's actually a Dave Blaney throwback. Regardless, it's clean, it's simple. I like it. It looks fast and it looks classic. Dent Wizard will be returning with Ryan Blaney as well. And man, oh man, there's a lot of blue on this car. We got a blue door number, blue logos, and everywhere that's not a logo is also blue. So, I definitely love how they took their brand colors and really just dumped them on this car, made it look clean. It reminds me a bit of the old Alltel days with Ryan Newman back in the day. Chris Buescher and Fastenal will be returning to the track, and man, they always bring something new. Fastenal is known for basically bringing a brand new paint scheme every single season, and that's exactly what they did here. They haven't let me down yet. I've been doing these paint scheme videos for years. Fastenal has been yet to let me down with any of these. And I really love the way that they played the hood on this one because you don't see a lot of hood designs like this. Most of the time, the hood is primarily one color for most sponsors. We got some white on the hood, we got some black on the hood, and we got some blue on the hood. I love how there's not really a primary color for this car. It's just both blue and white, which are Fastenal's colors. So it played out very good, and I think this car turned out amazing. Travel Centers of America will also be sponsoring Chris Buescher. This car will be on track at Talladega later this season. Got some red, white, and blue colors for Talladega. Can't go wrong with that. I think it's a clean looking car. Reminds me a bit of the old Mark Martin design with the red, white, and blue. Christopher Bell, I feel like this guy is going to be an icon one day. I think he is one of the best drivers in NASCAR currently. He may have not won a championship yet, but he's going to get him a few. I think he is a legend in the making, and he's going to be one of the next drivers to really run up the stat book. Here's his DeWalt Tools machine. This one is looking clean, and it's looking fast. That's all I can say about this car. It looks fast. The design on the door makes it look fast. The hood really throws DeWalt right in your face. So big changes going on for JGR next year. I think it's looking tight, man. I cannot wait to see this car on track. One more paint scheme for Christopher Bell, and that's going to be the Ream car. No big changes on this one as far as I can see, but it's good to see Ream still sticking around in the sport after all these years. They have been here for quite a very long time. We got a red logo and red outlines on the car, so I really love how they played the colors on this one. Very unique design for Christopher Bell. Joey Logano, now a 3-time champion. 1, 2, 3. One more, he's tying Jeff Gordon. It's a possibility. But here's a Shell Pennzoil car. Bright yellow, new design on it. It's looking quick, it's looking fast. Will Joey Logano be 4-time after 2025? We're gonna have to wait and see on that one. But this is one of the sharpest looking paint schemes that Shell Pennzoil has brought to the track potentially ever. I would love to see this one stick around for a few years. I like it. Hunt Brothers Pizza will also be sponsoring Joey Logano. Now this car is a unique one because it's all green, and then we got the red decals with the red number. Auto Trader will be back on the number 22 of Joey Logano. I would assume this car will be on track at Atlanta Motor Speedway once again. Absolutely no changes going on into the next season. William Byron, this is a beautiful car. I mean, I look at this one, I see Jeff Gordon, I see Flames, I see Sam Bass, I see Hendrick Motorsports. I love still having that neon yellow 24 still around, at least for the Zelta paint scheme. Not only we got red and yellow flames on this, we also got some blue flames in it as well. I think it's just a really cool design. Potentially one of the best of the season. I put it right there with that Austin Dillon one, potentially way surpassing it. Another one for William Byron is going to be the Raptor car. This car is going to stand out. I love the neon yellow on it. I feel like the rendering looks a little more dull than the car is going to actually be, but it's a beautiful design. It's a new design. it really just has that Raptor look to it. As well, for William Byron, we're also going to have the HP machine. This one is cool. We got a black 24 on it, which is something that we don't get very often. I love the blend from black to blue to white. For what HP is, I feel like it's kind of hard to build your brand identity into a paint scheme and make a design out of it, but I feel like they've done a very good job at kind of showing their brand a little bit with this car, while still making it look fast and still making it look cool. Not super colorful on this one other than the blue, but I dig it, man. That black 24 looks good. I love black car numbers. We just don't get them enough. And I love this one. This is a iconic one. Valvoline. Not only they had a cool looking number 5 car for Kyle Larson, we got an even cooler looking number 24 for William Byron. This one looks tight. William just has all the good paint schemes for next season. So, red, white, and blue once again. I know some of the fans was very upset that the number was white instead of that neon yellow like what we got on the Zelta paint scheme. I really love the white number 24. I feel like the more we let William build his own legacy, the better for his fan base and him it's going to be. And this is another diecast I think I just gotta get. It's a beautiful car. I think William has the top 2 positions right now as far as the best paint schemes in this video. No, this is not Michael McDowell. This is Todd Gilliland, who will be driving the number 34 for Loves, and this will be for Front Row Motorsports. No big changes going on to this one. Maybe a couple decal changes on it, but nothing too big. More of just a driver change with this overall design. But Todd Gilliland will be sponsored by Loves, which is really cool because his dad was sponsored by Loves, driving the number 38 car many years ago. Riley Herbst is a 3-time NASCAR Xfinity Series winner. In 2025, he'll be making the jump to the NASCAR Cup Series for 2311. 2311 will be running a 3rd car for Riley, and it will be sponsored by Monster Energy, and it'll be car number 35. So Monster is notorious for going with the all-black paint schemes no matter who is driving the car. Although this paint scheme is getting photo shoots done and all that fun stuff for the hero cards, I personally do not think we're going to see this car on track very much next year. And I say that because Ty Gibbs is running a Monster Energy car with car number 54. Tyler Reddick will be running the Monster Energy Beast car. Riley Herbst, in my opinion, will be running a very different Monster Energy machine. It may be the Monster Energy Zero Sugar car, it may be a different flavor, but I feel like they are going to take advantage of that 3rd Monster car to sell a different product. Alex Bowman is another one that got a cool design from the Hendrick camp. This one doesn't really have that much of a classic design look to it. You gotta really pay attention to the details on it, because we got designs within the black that you can't even see. We got designs within the purple that you can't even see. You gotta look closely. There is designs within designs on this car, which I think is really cool. Ally has always tried to bring more futuristic paint schemes to the track. This is nothing new, and this is exactly what they're doing with this paint scheme for Alex Bowman. And I gotta give it to their graphics design guy, because they killed this one. They did an amazing job with this one. And finally, for today's video, we got SVG driving the number 88. Now, this will be for Trackhouse. It's a cool looking car, and one I think that's going to look great on track. I think SVG will win a race next year on one of the road courses and put himself into the playoffs and pretty much have a good season for that very fact alone. You're probably wondering why car number 88? Well, they got the 1, they got the 99. The first and the last number you can get. So we're going 99, 88, and we're just kind of matching numbers from there on out. So it's a bit of a play on the 99. But this is a cool looking car. If you didn't see your favorite driver in this one, whether if that's Denny Hamlin, Daniel Suarez, or somebody else, hit that subscribe button because I will be making an update video as soon as I get my hands on some new paint schemes. I'd like to thank all my Patreon members for supporting the channel. The support goes a long way and means the world to me. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.